You are probably here because you saw my thumbnail that said it's all over for ASHVEIL. In the V3 I heard that he was brutally nerfed, and this was shocking news yet expected to all the players. Since the previous version his performance was really fine, to the point that our detective here has the potential to resurface the follow-up archetype back to the meta. But reality sucks. Okay, why don't we just discuss what are the changes to his kit in this video and talk about the state of ASHVEIL so that we can conclude if he is still worth it to pull or not. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Now if you have done that, let's get started. The first change is going to be his stat. Before his HP was nerfed, it was around 1000 and he has now become a squishier unit, and this fact is also supported by his lower defense. But other than that, thankfully his other stat is going in a better direction. His attack is increased to 776, his speed also slightly increased, and his energy cost reduced to 150. And now we are going to talk about his skill changes. Before, he deals damage to one enemy, marks them with bait, and reduces all enemies in the field defense by 40%, and he gains 1 charge for his follow-up attack. But now his multiplier is nerfed from 300 to 200, and it looks like he won't be obtaining any charges through his skill now. Other than this, his defense reduction is still the same. Now his ultimate is the one that brings brutal news to anyone that has read his kit. This ultimate damage itself has already been nerfed. Before was 500% of his stack and now only 400%. So after using ultimate, he is supposed to get 2 charges for his talent, and for every 4 gluttony stacks that he had before, will make him deal 600% damage multiplier to a single enemy. Gluttony is capped at 12 stacks, so ASHVEIL was supposed to deal significant damage from this ability. But the sad news is that they butchered the multiplier to only 200% for every 4 gluttony stacks that he possessed, which meant less contribution to the team's damage output. Other than this unwanted sad news, ASHVEIL now gains 3 charges instead of 2 from this ultimate. And as a compensation that they removed the charges from his skill, they decided to lower his energy cost to 150. So they decided to make ASHVEIL more reliant on his ultimate to gain his charges for his follow-up attack. His old talent stated that he starts at 3 charges, with a maximum of 5. Every other member that hits the enemy marked with bait, he will launch a follow-up attack to deal 360% damage and gaining 1 gluttony in the process. But in this V3 they decided to lower the multiplier again, and instead give him a balance with additional fixed 8 energy when his follow-up is triggered. Other than his infamous 600 multiplier that has been slain, there is one more change that, to me, really shifts his role in the game. It's one of his traces. He could be a main DPS since at that time, his enhanced follow-up attack multiplier was really good. He also could become the secondary carry since he basically deals damage while reducing the enemy's defense at the same time, and he could even be a supporter for other follow-up carry thanks to his trace that will increase other allies' follow-up damage by 80%. But that is not the case anymore. It all started when the devs decided to make damage boost only works for ASHVEIL only, and he no longer retrieves any energy from this trace, since they also added to his talent. ASHVEIL gained 10% damage dealt for every gluttony stacks that he possessed instead. So that's all the changes to ASHVEIL's kit. So far, what do you guys think? Do all of this make ASHVEIL no longer a worthy unit and make you guys want to skip him? Please share your thoughts in the comments. But we have not yet talked about the other adjustment in this version. There are some minor changes to his eidolons and light cons as well. So for his eidolon, they only tweak his first wand. Before, the enemy will get increased to their damage taken if their HP is at 80% or lower. Now is half of their respective health. Yep, this is a nerf. As for his light cone, the stats are all changed. The base defense and attack are both increases, while the HP decreases. It will still give him 18% crit rate, and at the start of the battle, or every 4 follow-ups are used, ASHVEIL gets special buff for 3 turns that allows him to get 40% attack increase and reduce the enemy's defense. This defense reduction is buffed to 20%, other than that it stays the same. Overall, it's still difficult to properly judge ASHVEIL version 3 performance without seeing actual gameplay. It's possible that more frequent ultimate and the new energy system could help stabilize his performance, but purely based on numbers, this update leans more toward a nerf, of course. There are even calculations circulating on the internet claiming that his damage per action value dropped by around 30%, 40%, even 50%. Of course, numbers like that still need real gameplay testing to be confirmed. For now, ASHVEIL seems more suited for a sub DPS role rather than a main hyper carry. The reason is simple. His skill can no longer generate charges consistently, making his damage rotation less flexible than before, and even with gluttony stacks increasing his damage, his overall numbers just don't feel competitive in the current meta. But maybe we could try a sustainless team so that playing him as the main carry could still be viable. But after I read his adjustments, it turned out both of ASHVEIL's HP and defense got nerfed and decreased, this making him a squishy unit and potentially easy to die. So I guess a main DPS Ashe with a sustainless team is not the best scenario for him. I guess after his multiplier got humiliated just like that, it's not recommended to play him as a main carry. What about his capabilities as a support? Well, it was all good until this week's update got his role as a supporter might no longer work. After losing that 80% follow-up damage for the whole team, I don't think he will meet people's expectation that he is going to revive and bring back follow-up archetype to life again. I am personally disappointed because of this, since I want them to treat follow-up team comps just like what they did to Super Break teams. We are so glad that Dahlia existence is making Super Break at least become more relevant in the current meta. Not really a broken endgame changing, but at least becomes something that the player can notice, and hence wanting to reinvest in this archetype. I was thinking that they will do the same thing to follow-up attackers. Can you guys even remember the FAR team used to be one of the strongest, easiest full stars teams in the game? But this composition slowly faded and began to become irrelevant even with 8 costs. But hey, out of nowhere, they suddenly released ASHVEIL in the middle of the Elation meta, whose kit does not have anything to do with that path. So I guess it's time for follow-ups to get retouched, just like Super Break. But yeah, I guess expectations were not met. So should you still pull ASHVEIL after all these changes? I guess the follow-up archetype is not looking good right now. Some reliable informants even say that it's going to take a long time for ASHVEIL to finally shine, since his best in-slot DPS will come at the end of 4.x, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it kind of makes sense why they did not want ASHVEIL to outshine any other new units. The first reason is because he's not Elation unit. At 4.2 we literally got the main push characters, which is the Silverwolf SP, and she's going to be the Elation DPS, and potentially become the best carry in the game. There's also Eva, who is dethroned from being a main push unit since all the Japanese toughs, but still, she is part of Elation that can also have the potential to be a great carry. And the second silly reason, he is a male unit. Men looking so powerful in the meta seems like a taboo for them, so they decided to make him chopped. So yeah, I don't know, he could be good, he could be bad, but he's not the same as he was in V1, and the changes were drastic, as a support, as a sub DPS, and as a main carry. As the answer to the question should you pull or not, if you care about the meta, let's pray together that there will be a huge updates in V4 or even V5. But if you like the character as it is, there's nothing wrong at all. So that's all from today's video about ASHVEIL changes. After a while, I can finally upload another Star Rail video. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this video is helpful. If you enjoy, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on notification as well so you won't miss out on any of my Star Rail content. See you guys on my next one. Bye bye.